My birth name by my mother is Darnell James Phifer, but my artistry name is Saint Phifer. I feel like I'm a vessel being used by God to send a certain messages to people. So, Saint. I've never painted before until 2018. So, when you're in like up and you're sleeping at the same time, within that through line, God told me to paint. So I've been painting since 2018. So I feel like I'm one of his soldiers, so to speak. Growing up, my father was a carpenter until he passed away. And then my mother, growing up in church almost every Sunday after him passing. So, and her always picking out outfits to wear for church. So just those two creative aspects probably formed, honestly, who I am right now. Jean-Michel Basquiat kind of got me intrigued because I didn't know, honestly, being naive, I didn't know black people did art, in that fashion. So seeing him, and then that kind of opened my eyes to like Jacob Lawrence's of the world, Hendrix Barkley, Henry Taylor, new artists, Ferrari Shepherd, Jamie Holmes. So there's so many different artists that are out there. Cal the Artist, Greg M.A., Ayaba. So those are the people that I know locally here as well. Jermaine as well, out of Norwalk. So just being inspired by all black creatives, honestly. It's just freedom. There's no rules. There's no boundaries. It's endless. The creativity, and I think the colors for me dictate the mood. So I use a lot of baby blues in the color. In my paintings, because that was my mother's favorite color, and she passed away from cancer in '07. So just painting helps me travel in time to the past where it was traumatic and bringing it forward of like highlighting a colorful now experience that I visited that dark place, if that makes sense. So I think painting and art for me is like, it's everything. It's therapeutic. It's love. Yeah, it's love for sure. It's different, but it's beautiful. The people are beautiful here. The people are strong here. The people have to endure a lot here. And I think growing up in Norwalk, I didn't see, we had struggles, but we didn't have the type of struggles here. Like it seems like a dark city with highlights of like greatness in it. And I think people like myself and other artists that are here, I think we're going to show how beautiful Bridgeport truly is, because they try to paint it as a dark town, but it really isn't. It's a lot of love. It's a lot of spirit here. It's a lot of energy here. It could get noisy at times, but being here for so long, you tend to block that shit out. So, but it's a dope city.
How does it affect your artwork? Like this surrounding area, the different types of people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of poverty here.
Yeah.
So how does that affect you as a black man? Number one, you're a big black man, and then you're an artist on top of it. So how do you create and make work in this environment? Does it bring you down, or does it lift you or inspire you in some kind of way?
Yeah, it inspires me because I feel safe here. I don't feel what people try to paint Bridgeport to be, like, again, this dark place. I feel at home. It feels peaceful. It feels comfortable here. I feel like if I travel outside of Bridgeport to the wealthier areas, I'm more uncomfortable there than I am with my own people. And I think just everyday, like, not even struggle with everyday life that they live, it gives me hope. It gives me inspiration, because it's a single mother out there. You know what I mean? Like seeing that every day. Or people, I take public transportation now, and I took it for granted because I had a car. I just really recently lost my car in an accident. So I just see the struggle that people go with day to day, and that helps me, give me strength, because of the fact that, like, I could be complaining about something else, but they're going through something far more worse than I am, if that makes sense. So it's definitely inspiration for sure. I would definitely say. I try to be a child in anything that I do. So being childlike definitely helps me, because being an adult sucks. And I don't like being an adult to the extent of like paying bills and doing this and working a 9 to 5 and your energy being zapped. Your dreams are being killed by a corporate monster, so to speak. So I think just trying to be childlike in anything, to be honest with you. I really don't know how to answer that question, but that's what I would say. I try to coin the phrase beautiful struggle because I think that's what it is being black in America. We're beautiful, but we struggle within the lines of like how society honestly like pins us in. We're much more than like a single line. We're more. So that's why my art is all over the place. It's always chaotic because I don't know where I'm going to next. I don't know what pivot point because that's how my life has been up until this point. It's been like aloof, so to speak, or all over the place. So I think that's also the black struggle because in the hood, they roll a ball in front of you and say, hey, listen, this is how you're going to get out. But there's no other, they don't teach you there's another way of being a photographer, being a videographer, being an artist, being a doctor, a lawyer. Those things are muted. So if I could highlight those things to the youth, because they're next, right? If I can highlight that and just level us up each and every time I do something. So that's where it comes from. It's just like getting the idea out of my head so I can go on to the next piece. Getting it out of my head, getting it to the next piece. So I don't think about if I should put this line here. It's all in one motion more so than anything. And if I see that the shape is taking form, then I kind of go bigger with my strokes. And then I kind of like work more from where I'll paint. So if you see a lot of paint, it's because I'm not erasing it, but I'm trying to, I can't explain it. I'm just trying to highlight the area, if that makes sense. So the viewer can kind of look at this as to why did he pivot to another direction each and every time. So, and then sometimes you might see a silhouette and it may happen to be something I might have seen 5 months ago, 10 months ago, because I hoard a lot of information. I don't write things down. So a lot of things are stored in my head. So that's why you see it all over the place.
It's organized chaos.
Yeah, the beautiful struggle, man. Yeah, for sure. One word. That's a good one. Unique. Because now I feel like I'm finding my own voice in the artwork, and I feel like it's my own. Being inspired by those artists that I told you about earlier, I would say unique. Yeah, different, for sure. I don't know what else to say. Different, yeah, unique. I feel like I would say simple, because I try to get to the point as quickly as possible. Because I'm not a big talker, so if I can simplify what you're looking at, that's what I go for. Because in my mind, it doesn't always correlate to what's on canvas. It's a lot more messier in my mind than it is when it comes out. So I would definitely say simple. Very simple. Not shows, but I have a son that's going into his junior year playing football, so this is a huge year for him. He's just recently got a scholarship to University of Rhode Island. So I'm excited about the football season coming up because he put a lot of hard work in this off season. So I'm excited about that. And for me, just trying to take over the world one day at a time, man. But I have nothing up and coming for shows. Honestly, don't know where to go for shows. So Kim and I will work on that. There's one it's one of my earlier pieces. Do you know, growing into the grocery store, there used to be like the quarter machines where you kind of like the little horsey. So it's like a little rocket ship. And this I did it on December 31st of 2019, obviously prior to the pandemic. And it's just me like pointing upward towards the moon. So that's probably my favorite piece. So AKA lift off or take off. So I just feel like it's my time to shine now. Those are the times that I create the pieces.
You've always done that?
No, I just recently started doing that. At one point, I was like stamping them like the date, time, and day, but now I just do the time.
Why?
Because I think time is the most valuable thing that we have. You know, it's luxury. It's everything. It's like you can have time valued or time wasted. Some people waste your time. You waste some people's time. You got to be on time for things and being prepared. My mom always told me, like, you always want to be early. You always want to be on time. So playing team sports, you got to be on time. So time is a big thing for me. And we only have a short amount of time from the day we're born to the day we die. So maximize.
Getting bad with time?
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like I think being before work, I mean, I work at 9 to 5 now, but it's part-time, and I also do the art full-time. So it's like for the last year, I was the artist full-time. I still am an artist, but going in full-time as an artist, being on my own. And I think when you're creating, you're lost. You don't have time. You know, if that makes sense. Like either time, I feel like time slows down. You get into like this like flow state, and you're just in this world, and you just lose track of, especially if you're having fun or if you're like just tapped in. So it's like that's what's been happening, and I've been noticing that I'm like maybe 5 minutes late here when I used to be on time or before the event happens or things like that. So I just don't like it. Even like Wednesday, you know what I mean? Like with public transportation, this show started at 4 and I got there like 4:30. Like that's annoying to me. I should be there early. You know what I mean? So it's like those type of things.
That's not too bad though.
No, it is.
Really
For me,
bad.
it's me. It's if it's my event, I got to be there on time. You know, what if there's a person there that's wanted to see me? Let's just say, you know what I mean? Like, and they come at 4 o'clock and I'm not there. Mm-hmm. That's disappointment now. Mm-hmm. So it's like I don't want that to happen. You know, I don't know why I don't want that to happen, but I just don't want that to happen.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I hate it. Working 9 to 5 is like, I've never been a good employee. I know that now. Like following someone else's rules, asking for vacation time, asking for sick time and using it, going through bouts of like, you shouldn't have to have anxiety on a Friday evening, knowing that you got to be back at work on a Monday morning. You have 2 days to kind of decompress. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like the ball was just catching up to me, to the fact that I just had to leave the corporate world because it just wasn't for me. I'm not a person that like, I mean, I follow rules obviously, but in terms of like their rules, I don't want to follow their rules anymore because their rules are just made up rules. It doesn't mean anything. So I like my free time.
Yeah.
I like being free. Yeah, so that's why. Black people. Black joy. That's my theme every day. Just seeing, especially black women. Coming from a black mother. After my dad died at 9 years old, she retired from her job to take care of me. And I seen her slowly lose her, not hope, not just being beaten by everything, just her rough upbringing, her losing my father, possibly the love of her life, I'm not sure, because we never got a chance to speak on that, but because she passed away from cancer and in 2007, July 14th. But yeah, I just want to make my mother proud. If she was here, I would want her to say, DJ, you did me proud.
DJ, you did me proud.
Thank you.
Okay.
And that's why I highlight baby blue in her colors, baby blue in my art, just to kind of like pay homage to the great Sain't Phifer. Yeah, and then also my son, to show him, again, going back to, you could be more than just a football player, lacrosse player to do what you want to do. You can always dream big or dream even bigger. So that, but mainly black women, because I love black women. I just like the way you handle yourselves, the way you love on yourselves, the way you love on each other, and your self-care. You know, it's just like, it's therapeutic to see, and just what you women have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, like being first in education and last in love. It's like, it's crazy, but I love you forever and ever. And yeah, man, that's what I do it for. The black babies.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Because if not, I think you'd go crazy. Like, imagine just, how do you feel on a rainy day? Yesterday, how did you feel?
Trapped.
What else? Anything else that comes to mind?
Mostly trapped because that lightning was stressing me out. Didn't want to leave the house.
It was gray. It was dark. It was bummy. Today is bright. It's beautiful. It's highlighting different colors, right? It's giving different energies. So I think that's what art is. It's energy. It's the way forward. It's creative. It's forward thinking. It's a future fighter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, art is like you're a documentarian, maybe even visually or audio. It's like you document what's happening. Look at through history, art has kind of paved the way to where we are today. And then like when we study the history, when we study the present, we dictate the future as a creative. So I think that's what art is. Art is always forward thinking. Because going back to that beautiful struggle, the struggle of like going from redlining, telling you that I just was watching something today where there's a black mayor in a town in Alabama of like he since 2020, and he hasn't been able to have the keys to City Hall because white people are keeping him out. And like no one knows that story. So me as a visual journalist, as an artist, I can highlight that. There's still in 2023, there's still struggles that we have to deal with every day. Like that's what that's what art is, and that's what black art is, and that's just highlighting black stories that go untold all the time. So it's like if I can get in those crevices and kind of like highlight those things, like how Carrie Mae Weems does in photography, how Deanna Lawson does it in photography, just showing black stories, that's just showing our story each and every day.
What about your prices?
My prices.
Your prices are
Or what?
Your prices are on a very low side.
Yeah.
Do you intentionally do that to make it affordable for the layperson, for people to be able to enter into buying your work? And do you think that you'll be able to continue that as you grow as an artist? Because you're growing, right? People are buying your work, and people are buying your work, I believe, because one, it is so affordable, right? And that's a relative term, right? So depending on who's buying it. But your prices, I mean, you can get a Saint piece for $150, for $75. What does that do for you as an artist and for your people? And can you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, one, I want to be in every household. So I want to have a tiered system where it's like you get inexpensive, you just get different values, but the artwork is going to be the same value. You know, if that makes sense. So you're going to have like an 8x10, you're going to have a 12x24. Those are going to be different price points, but they're going to be the same artwork, if that makes sense. It's the same energy. And money doesn't really mean anything to me. It's just mainly just being in every household, to be honest with you. And then people are investing in me, so it's like I owe it to them to kind of keep improving. So the artwork is never going to stop. So it's like you want to get it while it's hot, basically. You know what I mean? Why it's inexpensive, because it's definitely going to go up one day, and don't miss out. That's, yeah. But I don't do it for the money at all. I do it for the pure love of it, the pure energy, what I get from it. I'm not attached to any piece. I just like hearing these stories behind. Like there was one story where a woman, Melissa Newman, her father, Paul Newman, I have an Oscar Michaud piece. The Oscars was named after Oscar Michaud, a black fellow who's done screenwriting. He's done motion pictures. This is back in early 1900s. And basically, long story short, the Oscar Michaud piece is that picture of an actual Oscar. And she was telling me that her mother won the Oscar in 1957. And a couple of weeks later, I actually got to hold an Oscar. You know, like the actual Oscar. So it's like, that's what I do it for. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I created that piece, because he was black, and it's because black stories go untold. So, and then for it to touch somebody and then hear that story as to why this brought us together. And then actually now holding something that someone worked so hard for. So that's what I do it for, the stories and the inspiration. Like, what do you see when you see my piece? And I want to have that kind of conversation. Is it the same mindset, or is it something different? And I think art is like communication. You're able to like talk to people, conversation starter. So if you have a housewarming and you have a Saint Phifer piece on your wall, it's a conversation starter. So that's what I want. You know, that's it. Never stop, because it flows into something else. So if you feel like you've reached your cap, it's just flowing over to the next thing. Maybe writing, maybe journaling, maybe videography, maybe, you know what I mean, photography, maybe screenwriting. It can be a different ways to like get at your artwork. So don't pin yourself in. If it's fashion design, if it's furniture design, just be forever a student. Be a knowledge seeker. You know, like if you like a Basquiat, who was in Basquiat influenced by? Travel down that, see what that looks like. Charlie Parker was his favorite musician. Who was Charlie Parker's favorite musician? Do that kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's like there's always information to be gained. So always go out there and seek it, and be childlike. That's why you're creative anyway. The world is going to try to box you in to tell you what you can't do, and it's not for you, this, that, and the third. But fuck those people, man. It's all about you and your story and just your greatness. You're here for a reason, your purpose. So walk in it. That's what I would tell them. Right now, I'm just on Instagram. I hate being online, to be honest with you. I'm not really that kind of person, but it's Saint Phifer, Saint, and then Phifer's Phifer on Instagram.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
What are your favorite reads? What books do you dive into?
I mean, my boy Doug will kill me for this, but I listen to more audiobooks. Right now, I'm listening to The Mountain Is You. I don't remember any of these authors' names, because I feel like I listen to multiple books at one time, or read multiple books at one time. So right now it's one book called The Mountain Is You. Another book is called Getting to Neutral. So basically, like, you want to like starve your distraction and feed your focus. That's one pinpoint that I got from there. The Mountain Is You is right in the title. You're your own worst enemy. You know what I mean? So it's always when you start your day, you want to wake up with positive energy. As soon as your feet touch the ground, either get on your knees and pray, or just be thankful to the person that woke you up above, so it's like those type of things. And then also Build, which is, he worked for Apple. I can't even think of his name right now, but I'm going to butcher his name. But he talks about build the product, fix the product, build the business. So just keep building what you're doing. Another one is, what is it called? He's a guy from Nike. I can't think of the book's name right now off the top of my head.
Something?
Huh?
Shoe.
No, not Shoe Dog, not
that
Phil
one?
Knight's
Okay.
story. But that's a great book too. Phil Knight, the owner of Nike, turning it from Blue Ribbon Sports to Nike, the craziness that it is today. But damn, what is the name of the book? I can't think of the name of the book. Actually, do you mind if I take
Go
off
for
phone
it.
and look at it? But yeah, so those are the books that I'm reading right now. It's called, damn, I can't even find it. Also, Building a Second Brain. Like I said earlier in the interview, I try to keep everything in my head. But now that I'm getting older, I have a piece on the helmet. It's called Fleeting Thoughts. And I think the older we get, like, you have to snap to kind of remind yourself of what you're doing. So Build a Second Brain is like writing things down, whether it be on a sticky note, just so you can kind of remember what the idea that you had, that you don't lose it. So yeah, Building a Second Brain, The Mountain Is You, Build. Oh, Emotion by Design. There you go. Yeah, that was the other, Emotion by Design, and it just talks about being free just being free. Like, there's no restrictions on what you do. There's no caps. Dreams aren't caps, so you shouldn't be either. So, yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.